Playoffs. We're talking playoffs? Here I am, last second, grabbing my headphones, trying to figure out the camera thing. I'm Elijah Campbell. It's the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show right here on the game. We're making history this week. I don't know if anyone notices. We're making history this week. If you're watching on the stream, that's not Justin Hall in the studio with me. This is Airport High School head football coach Shane Fiddler coming into the studio, hopping on the mic.
Yep.
Like he's been there before. They tell you all the time, you get in the end zone, act like you've been there before. Shane Fiddler acting like he's been there before. Coach, thanks for joining us, and excited to have you on and make a little bit of Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard history tonight.
Yeah, pretty fired up to be here. You know, it's cool coming in and seeing all the setup and everything. And, you know, Justin's an airport grad, so I guess we go from the airport grad to the airport coach to try to keep the balance in here, right? So wish we were still playing, but, you know, glad to be here and look forward to talking good high school football tonight about the great players and coaches across our state, and hopefully get some of our coaches call in that win tonight and talk about their games next week.
It's easier for you to be able to peer pressure these coaches into getting them onto the show. I mean, you have a pretty good direct line to a lot of them. But we'll go talk about your team first, too, because obviously that was one of the games we talked about last week, one of the finals. You guys fell to North Augusta, a team that I think has a legit shot at winning a state title. That is a pretty complete football team. No shame in getting bounced by a team that can go the distance. I know Craig Godwin, a loyal listener to all 107.5 The Game program, and commenting on our YouTube stream earlier today. His son played at North Augusta, so he chimes in every chance he gets to be able to say, you know, cheer on that team. That's a pretty good ball club. But I mean, you guys had a pretty transformative year yourself. Not a lot of seniors. You started 16 freshmen and sophomores.
Freshmen and sophomores last week when we went to North Augusta for the playoff game. So they're just unbelievable. I don't know what their weakness is, if they have one. The coaching staff's real strong. They're strong at all the offensive positions. Offensive line, they're unbelievable. Defensive line, they're unblockable. They got our region player of the year on defense at linebacker, and they got a north-south player at DB. They got a Shrine Bowl player at receiver, a north-south player at quarterback. I mean, they just have it all, and they got a great chance. Last I saw, they were up 22-0 on May River.
May River's a good team, too. You guys faced May River pretty early in the season. That's a pretty good ball club itself. And the fact they can get up 3 touchdowns like that pretty early on May River, I mean, says a lot about them.
And honestly, they probably only had the ball 3 times because May River runs this Texas-style wing tee that really is designed to keep the ball out of your hands. It really was a struggle for us that first game with our young guys on offense because they're used – you know, when they play JV in middle school, they're just scoring, and they're like, we have the ball in our hands, and it's frustrating. So to see that, you know, they got 3 touchdowns the first half. Like I said, they probably touched the ball 3 times. So we'll have to get a score update here for the second half, see what they got going on. But, you know, Westside knocked us out of the playoffs last year. North Augusta this year, you know, we kind of keep getting some heavy hitter matchups. So that means we just got to do a little better in regular season to get ourselves set up.
I mean, you guys we talked a lot about the Irmo, Dutch Fork, Lexington, White Knoll kind of region as the region of doom. But I think you guys were in a close second, man. I mean, you got to play North Augusta. You had to play Gray Collegiate, who ineligible for postseason play. But you guys had some, but you guys had some heavy hitters, man. If you were a true subscriber to Iron Sharpening Iron, I mean, you guys had to deal with it on a weekly basis.
Yeah, we did. And the hurricane really kind of set our whole region back as far as health because – you know, we all lost 2 weeks, so now we had to cram all these games in a short amount of time. We played on a Friday night, and a Thursday night, then a Tuesday night, then a Saturday. And then we kind of got back to Fridays, roughly. But at that point, everyone's just crushed. So, you know, I saw Midland Valley get upset last week by Darlington. Well, I guess not upset because Darlington was the higher seed. You know, Jamie Johnson does such a great job. Last I saw they were down to Hartsville. Which is a great inter district matchup there. I'm sure they're
the game's at Kellytown, right? If I read it correctly, that one's at Kellytown. No one just walks into Kellytown and wins a playoff game. No one just does it and wins a regular season game, let alone a playoff game.
Right, and they're probably making $1 million tonight. Everybody in Darlington County is probably at that one. And you know, Gilbert got a win. Last I saw, they were up on Bishop Bingham. I've got to check again and see what that is. But North Augusta's up, and you know, Gray would be a force in the playoffs if you know, what happened didn't happen. But they're a great football team. I don't know what their weakness is either.
Really?
They have players everywhere. And you know, just you could say that about a lot of teams in our region. You know, Aiken had a struggle year. We had a struggle year. South Aiken had that running back that's rushed for over 6,300 yards in his career. I mean, he ran for 308 against us, and it was a track meet back and forth, but he just kind of put it away late. And there's a lot of good teams in our region, and that's good football. It sets you up, and hopefully that'll lead us into an off season. Right, this is what we got, and this is what we got to do, and then we can have a great off season and go into next year ready to roll.
Yeah, like that. Gilbert's one of those teams too, right? Like that's tradition rich. They played in that same region you guys did, so they're kind of in maybe like the middle class of a really good region. I think Coach Oz has done a fantastic job. You know him pretty well. You guys had a great game between the two of you,
awesome.
Or at the later part of the season. Bishop England's a really good squad, man. The fact that they can go in there and you said they had a lead last time you saw. I haven't gotten a score on that one yet, just by looking around. But that's a really good squad, man. That's the fact they'd be able to get a lead at any point in that game. Because I mean, if you have to say who might be the favorite or the underdog, you probably don't lean towards Gilbert to be the favorite against a school like Bishop England. But Gilbert may, by record, look a little different than a lot of the schools in your classification. That's a really strong football team. That's won some really tough games this year.
Yeah, and they got two hammers at running back, and they got the tight ends going to play a North-South game. I believe he's committed to Marshall.
Yeah.
Coach Oz has done such a great job this year. His first year, kept it going right from Coach Leapart. And Bishop England, all the credit right there goes to those kids. I think they didn't have a great year last year, and I believe they were in 2A. And now they jumped to 4A. Logan Hall takes over. He was a college coach at Limestone, and he got the job, I would say March or April. And he has done an amazing job with that football team, getting them going. They won the region on the coast, and won a playoff game last week against South Aiken, stopped the running back, Javon Edwards from South Aiken, who's a North-South player. He's got like 10 offers from D1. I mean, just looking it up right now, it says Gilbert's up 21-7.
21-7?
Second quarter. So that's the last update. So means Gilbert's clicking right now,
Playing their best ball at the right time.
Yeah.
As a coach, I mean, you have to look at this and almost kind of be, pumped for Coach Oz that he's gotten them playing at the right time, that all aspects of the team starting to really build upon itself going into this part of the season.
Yeah, you always get pumped for the good guys, and Oz is one of them. So I hope they can close it out, but, can't count out Bishop England the way they've played this year.
No, ever. I mean, I feel like that's one of those programs in schools where you can never count them out of anything that they're playing in. We'll get into a lot more of the SCHSL. I have to say it really slowly. Playoffs, a lot of that in action right now. A lot of games still going on or going final. We do have our first state champion to report to you last week. Our man, Cale Wilson, we hopefully have him calling in here in a little bit from this game. Was at Porter Gowd's big win over Northwood last week. They took on Hammond tonight. Hammond, the ultimate wagon in the state of South Carolina, maybe outside of Dutch Fork. I think you may put Hammond one because of not just a string of dominance, but like they win state championships all the time. They do it in blowout fashion. Porter Gowd took them on tonight. We have a final. Our first state champion in the state of South Carolina, of course, and I don't think this would be a shock to anybody, but the Hammond Skyhawks 28, the Porter Gowd Cyclones 21, a one-score game. Porter Gowd, it looks like, gave them everything they could handle. Cale Wilson, of course, will be calling in here in the next little bit to give us a more detailed breakdown of how that one went down. But grass is green, water is wet, and Coach Shane Fiddler, the Hammond Skyhawks, are state champs again.
8 straight. That's what I'm looking at right now. 8th straight. Coach Kimmery really got that thing going in the mid 2000s there. I was in college then, and just getting into coaching. I went and visited with Coach Kimmery and just tried to take in as much as I could, and just a powerhouse that they've built there. And shout out to Coach Bowles and Porter Gowd. And that's a great game. J.J. Flood, the running back, he's a great player. I mean, they gave him everything they had, and obviously came up short in the end, but nothing to hang their head about because Hammond's an unbelievable program, unbelievable school. They got everything going on for him. Coach Wheeler does a great job. I'm going against him, friends with him. I'll text him later. Hopefully he'll call in too on the bus ride back. And congrats to them. Congrats to all the Hammond people here in Columbia.
He's taking the torch and really run with it, man. I mean, sometimes it can be hard to take the program over from the guy who helped get it humming to a certain level, but to maintain that is equally as difficult. So the Hammond Skyhawks are first state champion here of the 2024 season, and I guess maybe a champion of our show in his own way. Our man Roger is on the line with us right now for his first score updates of the night. We had a later start tonight, so Roger had to wait a little bit. Roger, thank you for your patience. Thanks for calling in. What do you have for us, good sir?
I got 2 game score. First of all, Abbeville 28, Blackwood Hill and Nutton halftime. My alma mater, Hannah Collin Tyler 38, DC 6 halftime.
All right. Wow. Hunter Kiner Tyler, as always, humming along. Thank you, Roger. Humming along. And I don't think it would surprise anyone to know that Abbeville is taking care of business every day, taking care of business. Anyway, I mean, that's one of the powerhouses of the state at the smaller school level. And I believe said, 28-0 on that one right there. I mean, that one, I think we can expect Abbeville to be able to find their way
on Blackville Hill, who's got a
championship.
Carolina commit and a Shrine Bowl player on the team.
I forget about that. Yeah.
So that's
the
really
Carolina
impressive.
commit on that
and,
team.
You know, in HKT, led by Jermaine Derricott, we coached together 12 years ago at Eau Claire, and he's doing such a great job with them kids. And they're going to have they pull out that one. They got another tough one next week, either Louisville or Ridge Spring, and then the winner of that gets to Abbeville if they can get through Lamar and Lee Central and Blackville.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm looking at that right now. I mean, with much respect to Lamar and Lee Central, really good football teams, man. Abbeville's just one of those. They're humming along, and it does kind of feel like, in a way, we have a collision course in 1A between Abbeville and Hunter Kiner Tyler for a semifinal appearance. It feels that way, that we've just been on that collision course right now, and that's one personally, I don't mind really who's in it, but December 6th, if we can get a Hunter Kiner Tyler Abbeville state semifinal game, I think we're in for a night of wildness.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
At that point.
I think Abbeville hosts that according to the bracket I'm looking at. So, score update, Bishop England just took the lead 24-21.
Ooh.
After a turnover. So.
Oh, man.
2 turnovers.
21-7. Well, now you put your coach hat back on, too. We got you in the media chair now. We've suckered you into the radio chair. We'll have to put the coach hat back on you. You have a 21-7 lead in a game in which I would say most people that keep up with high school football in the state of South Carolina would probably lean towards Bishop England winning. You get up 21-7. Bishop England punches back like you expect them to, and you're probably in that situation telling your kids they're going to make a run. They're going to make that run. They're not going to go down quietly. They come back and take a lead. What's kind of the thing you kind of have to remind your team at this point in time when you do see a lead like that slip away?
Well, you're on the road, so you got to weather the storm. I know they're excited down there in Canty Stadium, and they're fired up. And then one of the things about being down there is there's nowhere to hide at halftime. You're kind of sitting ducks. There's no locker room or anything to go to. So halftime was probably weird because they came out and they started with a fumble and interception, Gilbert. So they got to get out. They just got to get to the sideline. They got to regroup. Coach Oz got to get back in his rhythm of play calling. Hey, what we have success with? I'm sure Bishop England made some adjustments to kind of get them out of their rhythm. All right, hey, now we got a counterpunch, and I know that coaching staff's doing that right now. It starts with a great kickoff return. We talk about that with our kids every week. If you can get yourself in good field position, you got a chance to have a good drive. There's different percentages wherever the drive starts about your chances to score. So we talk all the time about if we can. The first play of the drive is the kickoff return. If we can start with that and get ourselves in a position, somewhere in that 30 to 40 range, all right, let's take a breath. Let's just take it one first down at a time and start chipping away, quiet the crowd down, quiet the student section down, get down to scoring position. If you get a field goal and tie, you're okay. Hey, tie game.
You're good.
We're back on the board.
Back at zeros, basically, at that point in time.
And they got a kicker, Gilbert, so they can do that. But if you get a touchdown, now you've stole the momentum back. And now your defense got to go out there and get a stop and then just keep building that momentum. But you just got to take it one play at a time, one set of downs at a time. And, again, it all starts with the kickoff return to get yourself in good field position. That one barreling towards what could be a really exciting finish. Again, Bishop England 24, Gilbert 21. We'll come back with more bracket breakdown and a lot more scores that are just coming in feverishly. We'll be drinking through a fire hose of high school football playoff scores here in just a little bit. I'm Elijah Campbell. That's Airport head coach Shane Fiddler. You're listening to the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show right here on The Game.
And we're back. We got some scores for you, too, my friends. It's the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show right here on the game. I'm Elijah Campbell. That's head coach Shane Fiddler from Airport High School. We have the helmet. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, we got the helmet in studio. We are rocking and rolling. Now it makes it even more official now that we have the helmet in. We also have a lot of final scores, too. Right before he left you, Gilbert, a 21-7 lead, has now been erased by Bishop England. It is now 24-21 Bishop England. We got a lot of other scores to get to you right now. If you go on ScoreStream right now, they have a lot of the scores from the half. Still want updates on those. We'll go ahead and start from the top. Lakeview up on Johnsonville, 14-7. I don't know if Johnsonville's brats can save them in this game, but a touchdown deficit ain't too bad.
2 straight state championship games, Johnson.
So we'll keep an eye out on that one. Friend of the show, Coach Nick Pelham in White Knoll. A fascinating team this year.
They've had a lot of graduation from last year's team, but their sub-varsities have been so good for a few years. So they've done a great job of developing players, and they have such great assistant coaches. And I know they've built it up, and they had some injuries and this, that, and the other, and they lost a Thriller to Sumter and a Thriller to River Bluff. But
a game they knew, the Sumter game especially, they knew they had in hand.
Yes.
And that was a multi-score lead.
Yes.
They knew slipped away, and I know that one hurt them.
Oh, yeah, it did. But they rebounded.
They did.
They got in the region. The River Bluff happened, then Dutch Fork happened, and then they rebounded and got back, and it looks like they're catching their rhythm again.
They are. They're at Myrtle Beach tonight, the Seahawks in Myrtle Beach, and man, up 25-7 of last reporting. White Knoll, I mean, that's a tough ball team, a team that takes on the identity of its coach, right? Coach Pelham, a defensive-minded coach, was the mastermind of a lot of those Dutch Fork championship defenses. He's carried that, man. He has built a program about as organically as you could build a high school football program in any state, anywhere, anytime. That they take on that persona.
Yeah, and he's perfect for that community. It's a lot of success of programs comes from the head coach and the community matching each other, and they're perfect. Red Bank and Nick Pelham were built for each other. Community of toughness, man of toughness, defense of toughness. Everything they do is toughness, 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 and it's just a perfect match. And look what's happening with that.
It's remarkable. Yeah, it's remarkable. So, I mean, this is, again, they lost 16 seniors, something like that? I mean, and most of those guys started, especially on the defensive side of the ball. It was one of those, it was going to be a little bit of we thought a rebuild, but look, they're in the second round of the playoffs, and they're up multiple scores on Myrtle Beach right now. You look at that bracket, too, man. They take on the winner of Berkeley and Westwood, and it looks like that's going to be Berkeley. I mean, Berkeley up 29-0 on Westwood right now. So if you're just projecting forward, Berkeley, White Knoll will have to travel to Berkeley. White Knoll will have to travel from here on out.
Yeah, and unless somebody upsets Irmo or I don't know what's going on with the Chapin game. They said that was close there for a little bit.
Yeah, as of last report, our man Mark, loyal listener and caller in of the show. Mark has been killing it with the updates. As last reporting from Mark, a Chapin fumble led to an A.J. Brand 5-yard touchdown, 2-point conversion good. 6:31 left in the third quarter. Irmo leads Chapin 24-7. Now, Chapin really did hang in there for a while, but a couple of turnovers, it looks like, from Chapin have really done them in. I mean, it was a 16-7 game at halftime. This is a Chapin team that they had a pretty clear identity early on in the season. Brady Albro and Kalen Bostic, that's a really good pitch and catch combination.
Kid.
Yeah, and Stone Fury having a fantastic
I wouldn't count them
season.
out of that game. I mean, they can score quick and they can score in bunches.
That's the thing about them.
So I wouldn't say that game is over by any means. I would say sitting in the crowd there, hurry up and get your hot dog and go to the bathroom and get back to your seat because Chapin's getting ready to be on offense and they can score quick.
Because by the time you get back to said seat, it could be a 24-14 game.
That's right.
Then a lot of things can change from there.
And it's Chapin, so they got a kicker, so field goals in play too.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one team too. I mean, you talk about development throughout the year. Chapin gave up a lot of points. I would even say at one point in the year, to maybe not be as polite about it, they were hemorrhaging some points at the beginning of the year. But that defense has settled down, and they don't beat Goose Creek last week if it's not for them hunkering down on defense and getting a couple of huge stops when they needed it.
Well, that they're battle tested. I mean, look at their region. And in non-region they played Somerville. So they've played great football teams, and they've put themselves in position to be battle tested and to be ready for these moments in the playoffs. And in Goose Creek they run that They run like a college wide open spread and go and just try to run as many plays as possible offense. But they were built for it. They're ready for it. They've seen that. They've seen great football teams. So that's how they're able to make those plays in the moments that count.
One of the scores that's really surprised me, and this was a halftime score, so we'll have to get a further reporting later on it. But at the half tonight, Gaffney 28, Riverside 7. This is a game that happened 4 or 5 weeks ago, and Riverside gave Gaffney everything they could handle. Justin and I have joked all season long that the Gaffney Indians don't play a normal football game.
No, but you also got to remember, this is Dan Jones' swan song. He announced for the season. This was his last year. So you can imagine that the kid's motivation right now to get that man another ring and send him out the right way has got to be off the charts.
Yeah.
Coach K style. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Coach K victory lap.
A victory lap. That's Yes, that's what I was trying to think of.
And he deserves it because of the job he's done there and, the respect he has from coaches across our state. So, I can only imagine those kids are just locked in, and they're just every practice, every film session, every lift is just, we're doing this for Coach Jones. Because they know they see the collision course with Northwestern, and that game is going to be.
Good Lord, yeah. They've been a buzzsaw. Northwestern has just demolished everything in their
Those
path.
tickets will be sold out by lunch on Monday of that week. I mean, it's going to be. Of course, they got to make it to each other because Gaffney the next week will have to play T.L. Hanna, who T.L. Hanna was up big on Tauber Ridge, and Northwestern, Greenwood, I believe, was up on Hillcrest, you said?
Yeah, 21-7. Greenwood was up 21-7.
Don't count Hillcrest out. Bennett Swigert, former South Carolina State offense coordinator, Newberry offense coordinator, played at South Carolina. He knows ball, he knows offense, so he can get them guys going.
They can erase that pretty quick. And Greenwood's been in a lot of battles, too. I mean, Hillcrest, one of those teams at the beginning of the year, I feel like the entirety of my time living in South Carolina, every summer in that initial state top 10, Hillcrest is always in it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a beautiful part of Greenville to live in, and they have great neighborhoods in their attendance zone.
Beautiful school, too.
Great coaches. They had Greg Porter won the state championship over Coach Knotts and Dutch Fork in 2014, I want to say.
And not many teams can say that now. Now that we sit here in 2024, it's not something that any team can just say that you beat Tom Knotts in a state championship game.
Hillcrest in
just
2014, Gaffney in 2020, and I think that's it as far as I can remember. Since he's got the thing rolling. So Hillcrest is one of those programs that is going to have players, going to have talent, and the right coaches there, good things can happen, and that's what's happening right now with Bennett.
Yeah, don't count out Hillcrest, down 21-7. As of last reporting, you talked about Northwestern earlier, man, in terms of a possible matchup with Gaffney. Third quarter right now, up 42-6 on Indian land, and I mean that's not unexpected. Northwestern has just beaten the brakes off of most teams they've played this year.
Yeah, Paige Wofford, he came back and took that job. He was under Kyle Richardson, and what he's done with them, Finley Polk at quarterback. He's playing North-South game. I'm coaching the South team this year, and we got to go against that joker. I mean, he's going to make
Congrats. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. A lot of great players that we get to coach that week. It's such an honor. But Coach Wofford actually, during practice, had his appendix burst on Monday. And got emergency surgery, and
oh my God!
And if I know that man, he's still coaching tonight.
Tough as nails. Isn't that the most football guy thing you've ever heard? Yeah, I've got an appendectoing, and I got to go. I'm coaching football. Games on Friday.
Yeah, he's a football guy. So I don't know, but I feel confident he's probably out there. If he's not, he's doing a Hugh Freeze up in the press box.
He's laying down in the hospital, giving a thumbs up to the other coach or whatever after the game. I'm going to look up. I think it was Dino Babers that looked up.
Epic.
Oh man. All-time college football moment. Sumter over Ashley Ridge right now in the third quarter, 34-17. This is a Sumter team that is still undefeated. The undefeated club doesn't have many members in it right now. We're at platinum level of undefeated club, and Sumter's a team that hasn't had that not-so-wanted visit from Ed Bird yet. I mean, that's a team that is just winning every game they play, and a program that I think cyclical is a way to put it. Sumter's had various success over the last. They had a couple down here.
Every time I see their film, they got dudes.
They always got dudes. They got one dude that's about to play his last game at South Carolina at Williams-Brice tomorrow, and O'Donnell Fortune. And they pump out athletes, man. And this year they just can't lose.
Yeah, they can't. And they're playing Ashley Ridge. I was head coach at Ashley Ridge for 3 years. Now 2 years at Airport. But I'm really rooting for those guys. A lot of those kids. I got to see grow up, and this is their senior year, really rooting for them and hoping they can come back and pull it out. But there's no doubt Sumter's unbelievable. We got two of their kids on our North-South team, including the running back, John Peoples. It's going to be real easy calling plays. Turn around and hand it to that joker.
Yeah, hand it to that guy. Hey, John, run left, run right.
Right. And them in Somerville in a collision course is, I mean, that's another game. It'll be, wow. You know, if it gets to that, I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to that potential matchup.
And a game that you discussed earlier, James Island over Carolina Forest. Carolina Forest, a team that had the bye, didn't have to play last week. James Island took care of business against Wando and then went on the road and took care of business tonight. 31-21, James Island with really, I guess, our first upset of the night, upset in terms of ranking. Yeah. But how shocked would you be to see that this was the result of tonight's game?
I'm not shocked. James Island finished second in that low country region that, you know, they beat Ashley Ridge, and they beat Ashley Ridge by maybe 2 or 3 scores, and Ashley Ridge dominated Carolina Forest earlier in the year. So that doesn't shock me. You know, James Island's kind of pumping. They got an excellent trenches on both sides. They got 2 D linemen on the north-south team. They got, you know, Jamar McCoy came from North Carolina, has really built that program up, a lot of success. And Carolina Forest, you know, down year for them, still had a bye and won their region. You know, that's how good of a job Coach Morris has done there. You know, he's unbelievable, and they can just run the football, but, you know, as good as anybody in our state. And, you know, it's just 2 great teams going at it. But, you know, I would say James Island has had an excellent year, and they're really good in the trenches. And, you know, I wouldn't have been shocked to see Carolina Forest win, but I'm not shocked to see James Island. I wouldn't call it an upset. I would say it was probably even game going in because Carolina Forest was the home team.
A whole lot more to get into. So many more scores rolling in fast and furious, including a 4A state finalist last year who some believe have the best player in the state of South Carolina fighting for their lives right now in the second half. We'll tell you who that is as the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show continues.
Hilton Head? Really? Good, man.
Ah, yes, it's that time. Talk to you about my friends over at Lumos, because Lumos asks you one pivotal question. Why reboot the internet when you can rebuild it? Because the internet as we know it was built for the last 50 years. 50 years ago, landlines used to rule. Cable TV was considered the future. But now, my friends, it's time for the internet as you don't know it, as we don't know it, where uploads are as fast as downloads. The metaverse isn't just a concept, but it's a part of life. It's time for 100% fiber optic internet that is built from the ground up. This is an internet that is built for communities where you live, work, thrive, and grow, and go to school, high school, and play football. An internet built for small businesses that want to make a big impact. This is an internet built for families with smartphones, video games, voice assistants, tablets, nanny cams, streaming devices to watch your favorite high school play in the playoffs. Yeah, in the playoffs. Lumos, internet built for the future. See your future at lumosfiber.com/future. That's right. It's playoff time, baby. No Justin Hall this week. He is taking a much-deserved week off. He actually just texted me. I need to read it. Sorry, Justin. You're listening right now. I know you are. I haven't read your text yet.
Talking bad about me?
Oh, he's talking so much junk. So much. This is his first time listening to the show since 2019.
Long time
ago. I was in college, man. Long time. That was my victory lap of college. Good old Middle Tennessee State University. Playing in the Myrtle Beach Invitational Championship tomorrow. You guys already know. You know the vibes. Taking on the winner of Bradley and Wright State. I'm sure you all were wondering about that. The real score people wanted to know going into tonight. But one of the scores that we just discussed in the previous segment, James Island going on the road, taking on Carolina Forest, and taking down the Panthers by a score of 31-21. And we got head coach Jamar McCoy on the line with us right now, fresh off a playoff victory. Coach, thank you so much for calling in. Welcome into the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show. Congrats on the win, and what went right for you and your boys tonight?
Absolutely. Our guys just persevered. They kept on keeping on. You know, they didn't stop. You know, we had a couple opportunities where the defense could have just broke down and gave up. They kept fighting back. Carolina Forest is a great team, excellent team, well-coached team. You know, our defense is one of the better ones in the state, and they figured out how to stop it. And we made some stops and won a big game.
Coach McCoy, Coach Fiddler here, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Shane. How you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm good. You enjoying that bus ride?
No, not yet. We're still at Carolina Forest. We're literally just walking off the field, headed back over to the locker room.
That's
so we're still on campus.
Good. Well, hey, enjoy that bus ride back. They're always the best. But hey, man, look, you got a great defensive line. Everyone knows it. You know, right now, Sumter's up 41-17 on my Ashley Ridge boys. So I know you were hoping for that rematch with Ashley Ridge. You all had a great game. It looks like Sumter's going to pull that one out. Have you seen anything on Sumter yet? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, we know they're a very talented team, very talented triple option team. They got some studs defensively as well. You know, but we're gonna be locked and loaded and ready. One thing I do know, we'll prepare. We'll get that film, break it down, meet on Sunday with the coaches, and we'll practice first thing Monday morning with the kids on Thanksgiving week.
That's right. Hey, and a lot of people know it. You know, it's really Thanksgiving week is different for a coach and a team because it's not the normal schedule. Is there anything you guys are going to do a little different this week to help prepare and help keep your kids going and maybe just something fun on Thursday with the guys?
You know, we're going to sit and talk about it as coaches come Sunday, what the week will look like. But we're definitely practicing first thing in the morning. We'll lift, and then we'll go right into our regular scheduled programming with practice. Thursday, we'll definitely do something fun, something along the lines of a turkey bowl, something. We'll do something interesting to keep these kids' attention. But, you know, the number one thing is keep the main thing. And whoever the winner of this game tonight, something actually is, that's our main thing. So we'll definitely keep the main thing for sure.
Last thing for you, Coach. You know, we got Coach Jamar McCoy on with us right now. His James Island Trojans with a big 31-21 win at Carolina Forest tonight. You talked about your defense, and that's the one thing I guess that really stands out. Highly complimentary about them. But what makes them as a unit so in sync and so good to be able to have that travel, especially like winning games at this level is hard. Winning them on the road in the regular season is hard. Winning them on the road in the playoffs is another level, and that takes a whole different type of synchronicity. Why is your defense so good to be able to travel like that?
Top-down leadership. You know, we have a DC who's been there, done that is very experienced, knowledgeable, spent 6 years in the league, comes off a bloodline of football players. Down in Miami, the Blades, Blades family tree. And, you know, it just trickles downhill, you know, from the assistants on defense down to our captains on defense down to the players. We have an expectation, and these kids know that we live by expectation. I mean, we got it on the back of our shirts. We've been saying it all year. High expectations will not survive low standards. So we keep our expectations high of the kids and what we expect. There's a standard that we live by at James Island, and we're not going to compromise that for anyone, anybody, no matter who you are. We're going to keep that expectation and that standard high.
Coach Jamar McCoy has been with us on the Lumos guest line right now. And, Coach, 31-21 win. Congrats on the win again. Good luck next week against Sumter. We hope to hear from you after that.
Absolutely. Definitely will. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you guys.
Hey, man. Hey, congrats. Hey, good luck this week, all right? We're rooting for you.
Hey, Coach Miller, man, I appreciate it, man. We'll talk soon, brother.
Yeah, man. Let me know if I can help. See you.
Good stuff, man. Our first coach call of the night. Now, that's how you know the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show is rocking and rolling. We already got a winning coach attempting to get onto the bus after a win against Carolina Forest. We talked earlier in the last segment about our first crowned state champion of the night, of the year. And that's the Hammond Skyhawks taking down Porter Gaud. Our man, Cale Wilson, was there right now. We'll go ahead and get Cale on the scoreboard, if you don't mind, Terry. We'll go ahead and punch Cale through. They took on Porter Gaud tonight and got a big win. Let me get Terry to turn around here real quick. We'll get him here in a little bit.
While that's going on, just a quick update. Gilbert, 55-yard screen for a touchdown, take 28-24 lead with 9 minutes to go in the fourth.
So, yeah, Cale Wilson on the line with us right now. And, Cale, thanks for joining us. I know an adjusted start time tonight, but big win tonight for Hammond. Again, I think that's to the surprise of no one that they win another state championship. But when you look at that score, man, Porter Gaud looks like it gave them everything Hammond could possibly handle.
Yeah, guys, it was amazing. It was one of the best games that I've been to all season. It started out like it was going to be a Hammond dominating victory. Hammond drives down the field, and their opening drive capped off by an 8-yard rushing touchdown by Emmanuel Johnson. And then the next drive, Porter Gaud, they get a holding penalty. It is 2nd down and 19. And they pitch it to J.J. Flood, and it turns into an 84-yard touchdown to tie up the game. And then Hammond is held to a 4th and 1, and around midfield, they end up punting the ball. Porter Gaud drives downfield, capped off by a 3-yard rushing touchdown by Tony Brown to put the Cyclones up 14-7. And then after that, on the next drive, Hammond goes for it on 2 4th downs. They convert the first one, and the next one turns into a touchdown reception by Jack Croft, going into halftime at 14-14. Now, next after that, Hammond scores the touchdown out of the gates of halftime, and they take a 21-14 lead. Porter Gaud takes a very long drive and ties it up at the beginning of the fourth quarter, capped off by a 1-yard Tony Brown rushing touchdown to tie it up at 21-21. Hammond then goes on a drive that lasts 8 minutes, and they score with 45 seconds remaining. And it is a 25-yard reception by who else other than Michael Tyler. Now, something that I do want to note: Michael Tyler was wearing South Carolina gloves in his game tonight.
That's something to note. That is gear.
Something about high school kids always want to wear college stuff on the field.
I've seen a lot of that. That's a trend. I've seen a whole lot of that. What does it tell us? I don't know. Maybe he's a Gamecock fan. Maybe he is. Maybe there is legit interest there. But Cale, that is certainly something to note.
Cale, Shane Filler here, head coach at Airport. When Porter Gaud ran for that long touchdown and then got the stop and then scored again, did you feel a momentum shift, or was Hammond just locked in the whole time and just kept playing hard?
I definitely felt the momentum shift, and I also want to say it's a pleasure to be able to talk to you. But yes, I did feel momentum definitely shift. It was really weird because in the last few games that I've covered, I didn't get to cover the game that Hammond played in for the state title last year. But the 2 previous state championships that I covered, Hammond won by a very large margin. In 2022, they beat Lawrence Manning 52-0, and in 2021, they beat Trinity 48-15. But it was really interesting to see a close game because Porter Gaud was very, very talented this year. So it was honestly it was a great game, very evenly matched teams, and Porter Gaud deserve to be here tonight. I don't want to take any credit away from them. It was one of the best games I've been to all year. But if you have any, if you had any questions for Hammond head coach John Wheeler, he's right here with me. If you have a question.
Oh yeah, Coach Wheeler.
Oh, hey,
Wheeler, Coach Fiddler here, man.
Yes,
Congrats.
Who's it?
Fiddler from Airport.
Oh, Coach Fiddler.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, man, congrats on getting another one.
Oh, thank you, man.
That trophy shelf's getting full. You're gonna run out of fingers soon. Preparing
not me.
preparing for a kid like J.J. Flood. How hard was that?
Oh, and their scheme. Like
Bowles does a great job.
The players, the offensive line, and they're really well coached. That was tough, man. That was tough. Offense helped us out by kind of keeping them off the field, running the football as well. And our defense just kept battling. We're young, but it's no excuse as far as them, out coaching me a ton in the first half, and obviously they got really good players, So, but I was proud of our defense. Made a few stops when they need to, and kept fighting, even though we were outmatched up front a good bit, and they were well coached up front. And obviously offensively, kept us in the ball game and just did what they do, run the football, made throws when they needed to, and then Mike Tyler made an unbelievable play. It was almost like just like last year, literally same situation just about. So,
Coach Wheeler, I mean, you guys, no strangers to winning. No strangers to winning state championships. But I think every coach will agree with this. I know Shane will agree with this too. Every team's got a different story. Every team wins games different ways. Every champion has a different backstory to them. But what makes this team, the 2024 Hammond Skyhawks, stand out to you by the way they were able to win this particular state championship?
It was huge because it wasn't anything, like, no secret. We were very young and green and even small up front, both sides of the football. And what's the old saying about being up front? Where's the ball game won?
Mm-hmm. Trenches.
Up front. Yeah, in the trenches. So I think a lot, especially these bigger teams with senior offensive linemen, were licking their chops this year, and rightfully so. We're young up front. I mean, we have some talent. John Stokes, C.J. Stokes, little brother, he's a sophomore, though. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be really good, but he's still a sophomore going against seniors that have won a lot of ball games and played a lot of football. The fight that we had, of those youngsters, of those guys that are green up front, having to change positions. James Lay played linebacker, and he has to start at left tackle. They hadn't played offensive line since he was in 8th or 9th grade and on the JV level. So just very proud and proud of our coaches to put them in the right position to give us a chance up front because we were very talented skill-wise, and so just very proud of the fight we had up front of our youngsters. And if they were old, they were inexperienced, So I would say that's the huge backstory is, we were up front with them. We said, guys, everybody's saying you're the weak link, both sides of the ball up front, and they put a chip on their shoulders, and they kept battling. Didn't mean they won every battle, but they obviously, we squeaked out the war here, so with them.
Wow, Coach Wheeler, congrats once again on another state championship. Very well earned and a hard-fought 28-21 win over Porter Gowd. Thanks again for joining us, and enjoy this one, man. I know winning will never get old for any coach at the high school football level.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm enjoying it or if I'm just relieved. But either way, yeah.
Hey, John, congrats, man. Enjoy it tonight, all right?
Happy Thanksgiving. Good seeing you, Coach Filler.
Hey, man, good seeing you.
Talking to you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Happy Thanksgiving, Coach. Wow, good stuff. We're up against it right now. We'll go ahead, get a break, and get you back on that score update from the number one player in the state by some measures in a little bit of trouble in the second half tonight. We'll also get to your calls, 803-404-6100. It's the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show here on The Game. Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show back at you here on The Game. I'm Elijah Campbell. He is Airport head football coach Shane Fiddler, and we have some callers on the line, especially, we got the head coach of the Airport Eagles right now in studio with us. We have maybe the most famous Brooklyn Casey grad around these parts, and Gamecock Larry on the line with us right now. Gamecock Larry, thank you for calling back in as always. A, what's your prediction for tomorrow? B, do you have anything to say to your rival at Airport, Coach Shane Fiddler, who is in the studio with us right now?
Well, he's the baby brother of Brooklyn Casey. They took half an hour of players over there when they opened up that school. They split us. He's the baby brother of Brooklyn Casey. Now, let me tell you, I've seen something. I ain't talking no trash about Clemson. I'm going to talk a little bit of trash about Clemson Monday. I got a book full of trash I'm going to talk next week.
You're saving the best for rivalry week, aren't you?
The best for the rivalry week.
Yes, sir.
And you seen that thing in the paper that when old Cade Klubnik ran that 60-yard touchdown, and it said, "Run, Cade, run." Clemson fans, you know what you're going to be saying next Saturday? Look out, Cabe, duck, Cabe, duck, get down, Cabe. Because we're going to lay it on you. Canard coming after you. Now, let's talk about them tomorrow. We don't want to run no score up against Wofford, but I think it's going to be about 41 to maybe 10. 41 to 10.
You think Wofford gets on the board?
Yeah, they gonna do something. 41 to 10. Now let me tell you about Clemson. Citadel is coming in Clemson, and I remember Citadel back. I remember Navy back. I remember East Carolina back. I remember Appalachian State back. They came in and they whipped us. But let me tell you, tomorrow, Clemson Tiger fans, Clemson 24, Citadel 31-24, Citadel. And that's all I got to say. Take care of my baby brother there, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Gamecock Larry. Wow. Not often does he get to talk high school football trash on this program, but he did. That was a Hall of Fame Gamecock Larry call right there. But he thinks Wofford gets on the board.
They're going to play hard. Wofford's going to play hard. You know that. And, Gamecocks are playing really well right now. They're really good up front on both sides. So, obviously, Gamecocks should handle the game pretty good. But, I feel like Coach Beamer now will probably get some of the guys out, and Wofford have a chance late, try to get some guys in last home game of the year, right? They go to Clemson. Senior day. So, probably try to get some guys in late. Wofford might get on the board, and, it's all about that one next week. It's going to be a big one.
It's a
maybe
massive
a potential
one.
playoff bid on the line.
It is. Potentially an eliminator.
Yeah.
An eliminator of two teams.
It's been a lot of fun to watch Gamecocks. As a Gamecock grad, I've been real excited about what them guys are doing over there.
As someone who likes to make fun of the John Anthony spots that run on here, it's going to be a monster game that he'll say about two win NFL teams. That one will be a monster game that I'm excited for next week. My man Roger is on the line, or is calling in right now. We'll take him at the we'll take him later. But right now we'll go ahead and get to one score that I talked about earlier. South Florence at the half, up only 7 on Hilton Head Island. I don't have an updated score on that one since.
56-28 final Bruins. South Florence.
Oh, wow. They were in trouble. They were in trouble at no Moss. South Florence 56. Wow. And then Hilton Head Island, 28.
Yes, and BJ Payne's they had a great year at Hilton Head. They have 2 monster offensive tackles, and they really built their scheme around those guys in the trenches, and they've coached them up real well and put themselves in position to have a good year. And they did. They get knocked out by South Florence, something to hang your head about. And it looks like we're gonna get a South Florence Hartsville rematch.
Oh, buddy,
on Thanksgiving Friday.
Oh, buddy, now Now that is what we are talking about. Look, massive game there for South Florence. I mean, this is a team last year that got their hearts ripped out of their chest in the state championship game against a West Side team that has a quarterback who just rewrites seemingly South Carolina high school football score or high school record books. And, Amari Adams, by most accounts, I know 24/7 has him as the best player in the state of South Carolina. I need to go back and look and see what On3 has him as. But, by some accounts, the best player in the state of South Carolina, going to go play at that school upstate, or at least committed to play at that school upstate. But, I mean, that's a team. Jaden Sellers at wide receiver, brother of Lenoris, won a state title with Lenoris. This is a team that at the beginning of the year, I thought was easily one of the odds-on favorites to win the state title in the 4A level. And shout out to Hilton Head. I like what the credit you gave to them, because for a half of football, Hilton Head gave South Florence everything they could possibly handle.
Yeah, BJ Payne knows what he's doing. He always has those guys ready to play every year. He's always got great talent. He has that kid at Notre Dame now that won Mr. Football a few years ago. And they always have good players, but South Florence, Coach Marlowe, he's doing such an awesome job. He's got a lot of great players. They're huge up front, both sides.
Wins you a lot of games.
Huge. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And he's got, Zion Gilbert at running back and Trey Leonard, all these guys with, lots of college interest and great skill sets and measurables. And of course, the Sellers kid outside. And and they have an outside linebacker that's going to play for us North-South game, Cameron Coe, I think his name is. He is lightning quick, and he just makes plays. He's everywhere on film. So, them in Hartsville is going to be an awesome game. Again, it's another game. They'll make $1 million. Won't be a seat in the house left.
Yes.
I'm an AD too, so I always think about the money aspect.
I've noticed a couple times you have cited how much money will be made from these games at the gate.
You write the checks and have to count the receipts, And actually, when I leave here, I have to go back to the school and count the receipts from our basketball tournament tonight and take that to the bank. So I always think about the money aspect. It's really important to fund your school, to fund your programs. I mean, a helmet, right? And a lot of people know this, but a helmet is $500.
Wait, like what I'm holding right now?
That helmet right there. If I call my Riddell rep, it's going to cost me $450, $500.
Good Lord!
And then every year you got to get it reconditioned. And it's $65 a year to recondition a helmet. So, and a helmet only lasts 10 years max. That's max. They could get knocked out in 5 years or 4 years or 8 years, just depending on what's happening to it. So, football's an expensive sport, and it's important to don't watch the game streamed. Go to the games live.
Yes.
Buy a ticket. Don't look for a reason to get in for free. Buy a ticket. Support the programs. Join the booster clubs. Buy a hot dog at a concession stand. If you see a fundraiser online for a school, just throw $20 on. Yeah. Help them out, because there isn't an endless supply of money, and these are expensive sports. And, we at Airport, I try to buy the best possible equipment for our kids and give them the best possible experience and make the moms feel safe that their kids playing a tough physical sport. And to do that, you got to be able to raise funds. And I know all the coaches across the state want their kids to have a good experience, want their parents to feel good. So that's help out. Buy a ticket, right? Help the programs.
Support the local programs. And these local programs, a lot of final scores rolling in. Some of them will get to advance and be able to practice on Thanksgiving, which is the goal of every single program.
Hate to interrupt, but Gilbert just took the lead with under a minute left and got the 2-point, 36-30. Bishop England's going to have the ball with a chance to go down and do it.
Bishop England's going to get the ball, the chance to try to regain the lead on Gilbert. We'll get into that in a whole lot more. We have a short break. We gotta do the legalities of radio right now. We'll be back really quick as we kick off the final hour of the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show right here on the game. Where did that PSA come from? Rolling right along here. Final hour of the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show here on The Game. I'm Elijah Campbell. He's Airport head football coach Shane Fiddler. And we are giving you all of the latest scores from the second round of high school football action, including a state champion that was crowned tonight. That was the Hammond Skyhawks, winning 28-21 over Porter Gowd. We also have a score update and a stat line you have to hear to believe, and when I tell you, you probably won't even believe it then either. But first, we'll head over to the Lumos phone lines right now. We'll start with Roger, who's been really patient. Roger, what's the latest on from your neck of the woods, good sir?
I got 7 game scores.
7.
First of all, Batesburg Leadville 49, Andrew Jackson 14, Louisville 39, Richmond Nutton 4th quarter, Bamberg Earhart 36, Baptist Hill 20, final. Hunt Tyler, my alma mater 46. DC 13.
Woo.
Bamberg Hard 36. Bamberg Hard 36.
Oh, we lose you, Roger?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. So that's it. Wow. I mean, that is Hunter Kiner Tyler, the Fighting Rogers are just absolutely on a tear right now. Good stuff. Thank you, Roger. But yeah, that score with Batesburg Leesville, the 49-14, of course, one of the best stories in the state, Shane. This is a team, beat Andrew Jackson 49-14, a good Andrew Jackson team, a good Andrew Jackson program. But the stat line you need to hear to believe. I am not fudging any numbers. I have the big J journalism in me has gotten this from multiple sources. Amadre Wooden tonight ran for 334 yards. I will say this again, slower. 334 yards and 5 touchdowns in Batesburg Leesville's 49-14 win over Andrew Jackson.
Sounds great. I'd love to have that. That's
a season for some people,
yeah,
man.
Coach Lawson's team last year at Batesburg was young, and, they played close games and, got better every week, but their record wasn't what they wanted to be, and then it really has paid off. Really has paid off for Batesburg Leesville this year for them to, have the season they're having and have the success they're having. And Coach Lawson also coaching in the North-South game. He's going to be coaching the quarterbacks for the North team. So, but they're going to have a big matchup next week. They got Clinton, Corey Fountain and Clinton. That game will be at Clinton, it looks like, according to my bracket. So Clinton won 48-20 over Chester. So that should be a great game.
And we got loaded phone lines right now, and we'll go back up to the Lumos phone lines. Coach Brian Smith, it looks like, is on with us right now. Coach, what's the latest from y'all's game tonight? We got head coach Shane Fiddler from Airport on with us right now. Give us a breakdown. What went down tonight?
Yeah, great night here in Barnwell. We beat a very good Timberland team, 21-0. I was really proud of our kids here. Anytime we can play at home at McWare Stadium, we love that opportunity. And our kids came out tonight against a huge and physical Timberland team. I felt like we came out and played well all night long. One of the big, at this point in the season, you can't have turnovers. You've got to match the physicality of the opponents, especially when they're as good as Timberland is. And our kids just played hard all night long.
That's what I was going to say, Coach Smith. I was going to, Timberland's massive. They got giants everywhere. They got that one kid, Desmond Green, with every offer, in America. So then for you guys to shut them out and score 21, score 21 is awesome.
Our defense has been playing well all year, and this was a challenge for us, and we knew it. We knew going in all week it's hard to replicate it. I felt like one of the advantages we have is we don't have a lot of linemen playing both ways. We're pretty good up front on both sides of the ball, and our backups are starters on the other side, but that helped us a little bit. He's a great player, but he's got to get a rest every now and then. So, we tried to be smart. If he was out of the game, we tried to get a little more run heavy. And when he was in the game, we tried to sprint out or spread them out and throw the ball around a little bit, and that's what we did, and it worked really well. I think we punted twice all night. Kicked a couple field goals and just all around. when you're playing at this point, I really believe points are crucial. I mean, it's not trying to be dumb, but it's important to get points every possession you can, because they add up, and you never know what you're going to need. And then to be able to win some time of possession, and also give your offense some chances, because they haven't scored. It just makes it a lot easier all night.
And Coach Smith hadn't said it, but he's got an incredible quarterback, Cameron Austin, committed to South Carolina for baseball.
Yes, they dropped him, but we won't talk about that right now.
He's great multi-sport athlete, great player. He kind of runs the ship for them.
He's the best quarterback in the lower state, and I'm biased, and I know it. But he can do whatever you want. He ran and threw tonight. He's throwing the ball in tight windows right now. He was 18 of 20 for 320 in the first half last week, and that's all we played. And should have caught the 2 balls, had chances on the 2 balls that were incomplete. I haven't seen his stats tonight. That our guys are actually sitting outside my office right now at the table working on them. But
you got the only stat that matters. You got the W.
That's the big one.
That's right.
The best thing about him is we just tell him what to he has so much freedom in what we do offensively. He's got a concept to the right, a concept to the left, and a run concept. And we trust him to figure it all out. And it makes us look really, really good. Great players do that, and we're blessed with a few right now.
Coach Smith, Sherrall next week, back at your place. Coach Poole and them, they're going to do a good job. They're going to be big and physical. How are you going to handle Thanksgiving week, getting ready for those guys?
Well, that's the great thing. I tell coaches this all the time. And this is the third round. It's not the semis, but Thanksgiving is still Thanksgiving. I told our kids that all year. We've been talking about it. I was fortunate in my coaching career. When I started out, I think I coached on Thanksgiving in 5 out of the first 7 years I coached.
Yeah, you're spoiled.
And the first 2 years I was a head coach, I coached on Thanksgiving. And so the second year was 1996. I got back to Thanksgiving in 2019. Mm-hmm. Okay? So don't take it for granted.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I truly believe. It's a special day. We're going to invite our whole community. We were at Ridge Spring in 19. When we played for the state, we set it out there and said, hey, we want the community at practice. We need people here just to support these kids and get whoever shows up. If it's just parents and my grandsons that are in the gym right now, I got 3 grandsons. They're running around going crazy and having a blast with some other coaches' kids. And, we're going to have all those kids at practice.
Quick nugget, you're a Middle Tennessee State grad, right? His son coaches there.
I'm not.
Elijah's a Middle Tennessee State grad, and you're up there all the time because your son.
Proud Blue Raider.
And I'm hurting tomorrow. It hurts me not to go tomorrow. Okay.
Oh man, go Blue Raiders! How about that? I never thought we'd get that connection on this program. This is fantastic.
Man, go Raiders! Go Raiders! Go! I know. I love the Boulevard Bar and Grill. I can get around there. My son's as Coach Fiddler knows my son. My son he went there with Stock. He knew Stock his whole life, okay?
I've had a couple beers with Stock at the Boulevard. I'm not going to lie here. Even as a student reporter, I have knocked back a few with Coach Stock over at the Boulevard.
So there's no doubt about that. So my son, I played for Stock at Clemson. My son's grown up around him. So my son, when he was trying to figure out where to go to college, he wants to coach. We went to visit. He said, Dad, this is the guy. This is the guy I'm gonna attach myself to. And so he went to Middle Tennessee. It's totally because of Rick Stockstill.
Man.
And then, Stock got let go, which we all hate. But Derek Mason came in, and my son runs the analytics. He coaches. He works with receivers. He's the last 2 years on game day. He's the analytics guy. He's standing with the head coach with a headset, going through the scenarios on go, timeouts, all that stuff. So, we go to every game. I went to La Tech this year. This is the first home game on Saturday I've missed in 3 years. But it's just here's what I knew. I knew it was going to be at 10:15. I'm sitting there talking to you guys. I know my grandson's got a ball game tomorrow that I need to get him to. And, I talked to if you're up on Middle Tennessee, Nick Vadiato, the quarterback, texted me a little bit today. And we just like, hey, Coach, go get him, give it to him, throw it around, all that stuff. And so I text him, so it's been a great experience for my son. He's a junior. and it's been a great experience for us. We got to 2 years ago, my wife and I went to the Hawaii Bowl, so that was a lot of fun.
That was a good win. I watched that game on TV.
You know,
was
it
pumped.
was a great win and just a whole lot of fun. I mean, it's been a great experience for my son Brett. He wants to coach, and he's around the bit. You know, and here's the thing: is I told him, and we know this as coaches. You know, he loves stock. He goes to Middle Tennessee because of connection. He stayed at Middle Tennessee because of people. You know, He stayed because he wanted to get a degree. Derek Mason comes in, different guy, didn't know him, had no defensive guy versus offensive guy. And guess what? He and Mason are in there talking. He spends more time one-on-one with Derek Mason probably than most of the assistant coaches.
Oh, I love that.
It gives him an opportunity to be around somebody else and a little different mindset because he's a defensive guy. So if you're going to be in this business, I mean, you're going to be around coaching changes. You better get ready for them. And that's what I told him last year. I said, you got to survive these. And I said, so you just left the number one in coaching, I guess. And so it's been great, man. We love it. We've, I've done about everything. I go up for spring practice. I've got Middle Tennessee gear like crazy. So I'm a huge Blue Raider fan.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, as a grad, I just never thought I'd have a Blue Raider football discussion on these airwaves. So I'm glad to make some history tonight.
We can do it anytime. I mean, like I said, we went to the game, last home game when they played Liberty, I guess, and at La Tech. My wife and I were at La Tech, we went to Ole Miss. So we've been all over the road this year. But you get out there and the quarterback room's walking by me, hugging me. They're all coming by because they all know Brett, and his roommates are one of his roommates' dad's the head high school coach in Tennessee, and then the kicker Zeke Rankin, his dad's Gary Rankin, who's the winningest coach in the state of Tennessee, just winning the National Federation.
Gary Rankin, yeah, Alcoa. Yeah.
He left Alcoa. He's somewhere else. I don't know where he is, but I've got to meet some of these guys. It's just been great. I mean, it's just been a great experience. It's, to see it at a different level. I mean, I'm a Clemson guy, and so I know what to expect there. But just to go to these games and see guys try to build a program, whether it's Stock or Coach Mason. But it's football, and if you're a football guy, it's what you want to be around. So I'm not going tomorrow. We'll be watching on TV because I'm going to my grandson's game, and I know, as I told my son, he understood it. Look, I don't know a thing about Sherrall, so tomorrow is a Sherrall day for me. I got to figure them out, and so with our coaches, so I'm on the case with that tomorrow.
Great stuff. Coach Brian Smith of the Barnwell War Horses, a big win over Timberland tonight. Coach, thanks again for calling in. Don't be a stranger. Looking forward to hearing from you again in the near future.
Brian, congrats, man.
War Horses.
Congrats. Good luck this week.
Play the horse, baby. Play the horse.
Kids, play the horse. Put that on a hashtag. Put it on a T-shirt. That's what I'm talking about. We have some loaded lines coming up. A bunch of updates from, it looks like, Dutch Fork, Irmo. Uncle Lou from the state is on the line as well. We'll get you to all of them, get you updates, more scores, everything you need to know in the second week of the South Carolina High School Sports League playoff action. All of that as you're listening to the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show right here on The Game.
Friday Night Guest Line, sponsored by Lumos.
Lumos 100% fiber internet gives you the freedom to be free from cable internet.
Visit lumosfiber.com to learn more.
Oh, you hear the Lumos fiber phone line music. Oh, my God, that's Lou Bajak's music. We got Uncle Lou Bajak on the line with us right now. Uncle Lou, it appears you were at Hammond Porter-Gaud tonight, correct?
Yes, I was. What a game it turned out to be. I didn't know what to expect coming in. Hammond won the matchup earlier in the year, but Porter-Gaud played really tough in the second half of that game a few weeks ago, and this one lived up to the billing. It went down in the final minute. Andrew Turner hit Mike Tyler on a 23-yard pass on 4th and 6 for the game-winning touchdown as Hammond wins their 8th straight championship, 28-21. A great finish, and Porter-Gaud had a chance they got to the 45, but they hadn't thrown the ball hardly any all game. They ran the ball really well down. Hammond had all kinds of trouble stopping the rush, but they came up big. It was 21-21. Hammond fumbled the ball at their own 17, but Porter-Gaud scored a touchdown, but it was called back because of a holding, and then they ended up having to punt. And then Hammond got the ball at their own 20, marched the ball down, and scored the game-winning touchdown.
Wow. I mean, yeah, it sounds like Porter-Gaud gave them just absolutely everything they could handle, and you were at an all-time classic tonight. Hammond again winning another state championship, and that's a story in its own. I know that you're all on top of. But, Lou, I'm going to read you a stat line from tonight that we've had come across our desk, and I'm just going to ask you if you believe it or not, right? It's like a Ripley's Believe It or Not thing. Amadre Wooden, in a 49-14 win for Batesburg-Leesville tonight. 334 yards and 5 touchdowns. What?
Broke the school record of 324, I think. I forget Smith, guy's last name. Yeah, Jay Hendricks just sent me that. Yeah, he was our player of the week last week. Yeah, I mean, I think that puts him. He's close to 2,000 yards. I think he would be like the 3rd player in Batesburg-Leesville history. He's the nephew of the school's all-time leading rusher, Terrence Wilson. So he's got it in his genes. But a huge night for Wood, and they run the ball, and now it sets up a big matchup. They got to go to Clinton next week, which should be a fantastic game.
I got another. Hey, Lou. It's Fiddler.
Hey, Coach Fiddler. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Poor Steelers last night. Can't shank punts there in the 4th quarter. I got a stat line.
Not the snow.
And unfortunately, it's the end of Richland Northeast season. They lost 48-36 to Daniel. Daniel's a great team. They played a game at Airport this year, saw it up close and personal. Mickey Kahn's son's on the team, all that. Will Wilson, excellent career, going to play in the Shrine Bowl, going to NC State. I'm seeing a tweet here. He had 354 yards passing and 120 yards rushing at one point in the game. I mean, he's so good.
Real deal.
I mean, what a career by him. I hate to see their season end, but, all the props in the world to Will Wilson, his dad, Walt, the coach. I mean, what a great player. He's going to be missed in our state and in the Midlands.
I know, and just we got fortunate, kind of spoiled with the 2 quarterbacks, Brandon Wilson, 2 coaches' son, and what they've been able to accomplish these last 3-4 years. I think Will was a starter all 4 years at quarterback. AJ, I think, had to play receiver his first year, but I mean, just the way. I mean, coaches' sons, they're gonna put the work in, they're gonna grind, but they're just so fun to watch. I've got to see them both play a couple times, several times in the last few years, and definitely has been a privilege, and hopefully they will continue it as Will goes to NC State and AJ's committed to Virginia Tech. But heck of a career by Will Wilson. We'll see if he could end up with Mr. Football. He's a Mr. Football finalist as well. So, and we wish him luck in the Shrine Bowl.
Yeah, a fantastic career, and man, I've said it all year, Will Wilson, real deal. And I think tonight he helped prove that even in a losing effort, a hell of a career by Will Wilson. Lou, thanks again for joining me. You going to be at the game again tomorrow? Am I going to see you in the press box?
Yeah, man, we'll catch up tomorrow, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. We'll reconvene and talk about the Steelers having to play a game in a snow globe. That was remarkable.
Fun game to watch, but
fun game aesthetically.
Like score at the end, Steelers guy.
Aesthetically pleasing, but if you're a Steelers fan, maybe not so much of the results. But Uncle Lou, we'll see you tomorrow, and take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
See you, Lou.
Good stuff, as always. Lou Bajak from the state, as good as it gets in high school reporting. I've been doing high school football shows in multiple states, and that guy's the real deal. We'll go ahead and take a quick break right here. We come back. Our man Timo from Dutch Fork will lead us off, followed off by our man Mark. Irmo and Chapin. We'll get that update from Mark. We'll get Dutch Fork doing what Dutch Fork just does, right? They're better than you, and they know it. They're kind of like Globo Gym from the movie Dodgeball. Timo's going to give us the latest from that one and all of that as you're listening to the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show right here on The Game. And first, I'll pose you a hypothetical. We love hypotheticals in sports talk radio. Why reboot the internet when you can rebuild it? Don't answer that, because I'll answer it for you. The internet as we know it was built for the last 50 years, and that was when landlines ruled, rotary phones, all that good stuff. Cable TV was considered the future. But now it's time for internet as we don't know it. It's time to step into the future where small cities will have internet as fast as big cities. Uploads fast as downloads. Your digital life will never be interrupted, and the metaverse isn't just a concept, but it become a part of life. That's right. It's time for 100% fiber optic internet built from the ground up. Internet built for small businesses that want to make a big impact. Internet built for families with smartphones, video games, robot vacuums, Roombas, whatever it is. It's built for all of that, and even streaming your alma mater in the high school football playoffs. It is time for the future. Lumos, internet built for the future. See your future at lumosfiber.com/future. Oh, man, time for some more updates. It's the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show. Updates are our thing, man. That's our shtick. That's what we do around here. I'm Elijah Campbell. He's Airport head football coach Shane Fiddler.
Not Justin Hall.
Not Justin Hall.
Not tonight.
No, not tonight. Justin Hall, a much-deserved night off. It's his birthday weekend. Happy birthday, Justin.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. I should have prepared like the birthday song by the Beatles sounder coming in. We got to celebrate Justin's birthday. He's celebrating it by not working like every great American should, by not working. But I know he's enjoying the show from afar right now. Listening for the first time since 2019.
Quick note from Lou Bezjak, Texas. Wooden now has 2,053 yards on the season, fifth most in school history, fifth player in school history with 2,000 yards, fourth best for Batesburg-Leesville.
Good Lord. That kid, I've given Will Wilson the real deal tag this year. We can put a Madre Wooden in that as well. That kid has just had a remarkable season. Coach Lawson's done an amazing job. That's one of the best stories in the state. Wow. So we'll go ahead. Start off. We'll start off with, let's see who's been along. Mark. We'll hit up Mark right now. Mark, tough draw tonight for Chapin. They had to take on Irmo tonight. What did you see from your Eagles?
Oh, hold on a second, guys. Justin Hall takes his birthday off on the second round of the state playoffs. I mean, that's like Santa Claus taking Christmas off. I mean, what is he doing?
Fair point. I'm a sucker for a good counterpoint, and you brought a good counterpoint.
Me and Justin are boys, but that is unbelievable. I can't believe it. Anyway, yeah, so 38-7 here in Irmo. Too much A.J. Brand as usual. Chapin played him really tough in the first half, had a chance to take the lead. Early in the second quarter, they had a 4th and 1 from about their own, from Irmo's 5-yard line. Tried to sneak somebody out in the flat and threw an interception in the end zone. But got to give it up to these kids. You know, I'm a Chapin diehard, so just want to give a shout-out to Brady Albro. I mean, you want to talk about
great year.
The toughest kid you could imagine being around. And Chapin's had a load of awesome quarterbacks. Logan Bailey was a Mr. Football finalist. Trad Beatty got a full ride to Temple. Jaden Bradford, obviously, he went to IMG. And Brady came right after Jaden. And Brady smashed every Chapin record there was, passing yards, touchdown, passes. Just want to give him a shout-out. He was nagged from the Spring Valley game with a bad ankle, and it really nagged him all year. And he just stood in there and did what he does. So proud of that kid. Chapin ends at 6-6. A couple other shout-outs, obviously. Tanner Short, 3-year starter, linebacker, Gavin Stam. Just really tough, hard-nosed kids. Played really well tonight. Got Aaron A.J. Brand a couple times in the backfield, which is, to me, impossible. The kid is such a great athlete.
Magician.
Good shout-out to Irmo. They, obviously they're a well-coached football team. Played really good defense, and obviously when you have A.J. Brand with the ball in his hands, anything can happen. So, again, thanks you guys for all you guys do. Good luck to Irmo. Did White Knoll win tonight? I didn't see, but
they did. And once you get off the phone, well, Nick Pelham has called in. We'll get to him as well. They took care of business tonight, man. They took care of business.
Awesome. Yeah, again, that region with Chapin, White Knoll, Lexington, Irmo, Dutch Fork. I mean, you show me a tougher region in the state, and I can't find one. But thanks again. Great year. Love this show. Obviously, calling every week. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks.
Absolutely. Mark, as always, fantastic job helping us out this year. We appreciate everything that you've done and keeping us updated. And great season from Chapin, a great improved season. And again, Brady Albro having a phenomenal year through the air despite a nagging ankle injury. The kid's tough as nails, man. Tough as nails. So looking forward to talking to you again next year, Mark. Thanks again for a fantastic season. We'll go back to the Lumos phone lines right now, and we'll go ahead. We'll get to the Timo and Dutch Fork after we get to Coach Pelham here, who has just now called in. White Knoll with a 39-14 win over Myrtle Beach. They advance in the playoffs and will take on Berkeley, who took care of business against Westwood tonight. But Coach Pelham, thanks for calling in as always. What did you like from your team tonight? Obviously, a lot to like with a score like that in the second round of the playoffs. But what was the coach's observation?
I'll be honest with you. I like this is the first game I left happy all season. I think we did some really good things on offense. Our special teams were much improved. Our kickoff unit, which has been putrid lately, was fantastic tonight. A lot of our special teams units were really good. Our defense played very well. Obviously that's the part that I put my name on, and they tackled really well. They prepared really well. And I just think, I just think right from the jump we were, a little tougher than our opponent.
Coach Pelham, Shane Fiddler here. Sound like a little hoarse. Are you yelling at any assistant coaches tonight?
The Shaniac, yes, sir. A few positive things, very positive things, like continue to coach hard.
That's right. The corners, job. Right? Exactly. So, the Myrtle Beach area, especially Myrtle Beach High School, they're known for throwing it around, et cetera. You guys are a tough football team, a community of toughness. How did that play into the result of the game tonight and how the game went for y'all?
One of our kids said as soon as we ran out, they said they got sleeves on. We win. And, I don't know if that's really true or not, but I looked. I was like, oh, yeah, they do have sleeves on. We are a community of toughness. We're a team of toughness. We've been trying to bang that drum. We ran the ball really well again tonight, blocked really well, ran hard. Quarterback, running back, all of them ran really hard. Our offensive line, tight ends. Tight ends don't get a lot of publicity. Kirkland Day is a 10th grade tight end who does a great job with his feet, great job blocking, does a great job right there. But, yeah, they did try to throw it around, a bunch of their screens and draws. And our defensive line played really well. And I think we had 3 or 4 interceptions that we didn't drop tonight. So I was really happy, especially with our corners coach, Neil Smith.
Neil, that's right. Coach Smith, he's got a hard position to coach in your defense. Coach Pelham, last year you guys played on Thanksgiving. You got the program obviously going in a great direction. You guys are doing awesome. You get Berkeley next week. You'll have to go down there to Monk's Corner, Gerald Moody Field. Is there any lessons from last year, how you guys structured Thanksgiving practice that you're going to look at maybe altering this year based on the experience that you had, or is it just you can kind of do the same thing?
No, I don't want to change anything. I just want to keep telling kids that this is why we work. It's for days like this. I said that probably 1,000 times to 1,000 different people today. The reason we show up in May is for today. The reason why we show up in June and July is for today. The reason we watch film before practice on June 25th is because of today, and it'll be that way tomorrow. I like how we structured practice last year. A couple families and kids were surprised by how we're going to do it in Thanksgiving, and I think now they're used to it. And I think now it's hopefully becoming a tradition at White Knoll that we keep practicing on Thanksgiving.
You're certainly establishing a little bit of a habit. Once is an accident, twice is a trend, and I think after that point you start getting to habits. So once again, practicing on Thanksgiving again.
Once bitten, twice shy, but I could be wrong.
This is a Tennesseeism, I guess, for me. So I think geographically we are blending.
Tennessee,
yes.
Yeah.
We are blending all the goods here. Good stuff right there.
Was that Coach Cole from Chapin a few minutes ago?
That was Mark. Mark has been giving us updates from Chapin all season long, and their season, unfortunately for them, ended tonight.
Oh, bro, what a player.
Yeah,
I was
he's
just talking
awesome.
to a coach. I was talking to Coach Barnes from Sumter, and we went on 5 minutes. Neither one of us are going to play Chapin again this year, but we talked back and forth about what a great player he was. What a great career. You're exactly right. What an awesome player. I don't know if he's playing an all-star game, but it's a little disappointing if he isn't. He's a fantastic football player.
A lot of good quarterbacks in the state this year at the senior class, and he's definitely one of them. I mean, he's been unbelievable. I mean, look at the season Chapin had, and he's the leader.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they put up video game numbers at times, man. That was a passing offense that was so fun to keep up with this year.
I know as a defensive guy, that had to be a tough week.
Correct.
Great stuff. Final score, White Knoll 39, Myrtle Beach 14. Coach Nicholas Pelham's been on with us. Coach, thanks as always for calling in, and really excited to see what you guys do against Berkeley next week, and hope to hear from you again soon.
Hey, brother. Hey.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, good luck this week. Tell Alice I said hello.
Sure will. Bye.
And then, of course, White Knoll winning, and, of course, Coach Pelham coached some really good defenses over at Dutch Fork. Dutch Fork, again, does what Dutch Fork does. We'll get Thomas on the line. Was Timo on the line with us right now? Thanks for your patience, man. I know you've been holding on for a while, but, man, grass is green, water's wet. Dutch Fork wins another massive playoff game.
Yeah, and I'm start out saying I was really impressed with Bowling Green's quarterback Lincoln Husky. 19 for 27, 210 yards and 2 touchdowns. Of course, one of those touchdowns was like 7 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. But he's a very good player. Dutch Fork was just able to kind of limit him most of the game, and he got stats, but that was about it. It was a very strange game as in the first half. Dutch Fork took a 21-7 lead into the half. And the stats that would crack you up with that was Ethan Althing only had 4 completions in the first half.
Wow.
And the thing that surprised me the most was Maurice Anderson was held to, I believe, 40 yards in the first half. But second half came around, it was a different story. Ethan Althing finished with 2 touchdowns for 153 yards. Maurice Anderson had 82 yards on the grounds with 2 touchdowns, and he also caught 3 receptions for 65 yards and a touchdown, including one that was for 55 yards. So as far as that goes, I also want to give some real love here to the Dutch Fork defense. 3 players in particular I want to give some love to. Raleigh Salters, linebacker, defensive lineman Michael Steed, Daniel Williams. All of them had I probably said their numbers so much tonight, I will probably continue to say them while I'm sleeping tonight. And it was amazing. But in the fourth quarter, going back a little bit to the offense and defense, for a second, is JV players got to play a lot in the fourth quarter. And it really is a reload situation at Dutch Fork when you have somebody like Braden Johnson for Dutch Fork, 3 carries, 48 yards, and a touchdown in that fourth quarter.
The Coach Knott's son get in?
He did play, but he didn't pass. I mean, they were just running all over the place. The final rushing stats were amazing. 202 yards on the ground for Dutch Fork, 12 for Boiling Springs.
12
in the whole game. 12 yards. But again, it's kind of a misnomer because they also had minus 57 yards between sacks and tackle for losses. So, obviously that comes across on that. But Dutch Fork just does what Dutch Fork does. I mean, they're really built around a defense that's going to smother you. You might get some yards, but they're just going to find a way to shut you down. Another one, the last one I want to give some love to is Jaden Westbrook. Punt returns tonight. He had a punt return for a touchdown tonight, and there was probably 3 more that he was very close to breaking, to the point that we were up in the press box and we were like, why do you keep kicking to this guy? Because he's going to burn you, and sure enough, he did. So, again, Dutch Fork is just they're a fun team to watch. They can win any way you want to play against them. And that whenever you play a team like that, that is very tough to do. A team that is a Swiss Army knife, and whatever game you play, they will find a way to play their game and beat you on the field.
Timo, as always, thank you for the insight, good sir. Looking forward to talking to you again down the road and watching this buzzsaw known as the Dutch Fork Silver Foxes continue to do what they do. Looking forward to talking to you again, good sir. Thanks again.
Thank you. Time to get ready for River Bluff. That's
right. River Bluff coming off of a 34-17 win at Rock Hill. They were down 17-7 to start that game, and they just, scored 27 unanswered. Great year for River Bluff so far. I'm excited to see what they do against Dutch Fork. We'll go ahead, take a quick break. When we come back, Chris Deering will join us on the Lumos phone line. We'll give you some more scores from around the state, more updates, and all that good stuff as the playoffs roll on. You're listening to the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show right here in the game.
Friday Night Guest Line, sponsored by Lumos.
Lumos 100% fiber internet gives you the freedom to be free from cable internet.
Visit lumosfiber.com to learn more.
What better way to kick off the final segment of tonight's show than to head to the Lumos guest line and talk to our man, Chris Deering, as always. Chris, welcome to the Thunderdome, brother. What game were you at tonight?
I went up to I-26 tonight and saw Dillon knock off Newberry 33-28 and a really good game. It sort of came down to the very end. Newberry did have the ball last, had a chance to go down the field and win it, but they had to go 95 yards. They got it back with a little over a minute to go and had to go 95 yards, and they got about the midfield and let time run out. But big win for Dillon on the road in the playoffs, and they get to go down to Oceanside Collegiate next weekend and see if they can knock off the Sharks.
I mean, at Oceanside Collegiate, obviously. I mean, that's a program that does a whole lot of winning themselves. But you look at this Dillon team, got a good look at them up close and personal tonight. How do you see that matchup kind of unfolding? What kind of needs to happen for them to make that a successful trip down there to Mount Pleasant?
Well, that's a good question. Their running back, Jamarion Fling, he's really good, and he had 95 yards in the middle of the second quarter and went down really awkward on a play. He came back in the third quarter for about 2 or 3 plays, but just couldn't go. And, you know, without him, they actually turned it over to Daniel Capehart, who is their starting linebacker. And if the Capehart name sounds familiar, yes, he is the brother of the Clemson player. The Clemson Capehart is from Hartsville, but the younger one plays at Dillon, and he's a really good linebacker, but he stepped in at running back tonight, and he scored the go-ahead touchdown for Dillon. But they really need Fling back. I thought he was explosive. I thought he made people miss. I thought he did a lot of good things. And, you know, this is not the Dillon team of old that wants to line up and run the football. They do have a passing attack, and they got a wide receiver, last name is Roberts, and he's really good. He probably had about 10 catches tonight. The quarterback is Hamilton. He's pretty decent. Again, I don't think Dillon wants to throw it a whole lot, but when they do, they're capable of making things happen. So they need to have Fling healthy. Like I said, he gave it a go in the third quarter, just couldn't get it going. He's got a week to get better. Hopefully he can be healthy by next Friday. And, you know, if they got him in the lineup and that defense is playing pretty well, you know, they got a chance to go down there and play with Oceanside. But without Fling, that's going to be very difficult, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris Deering, as always, thank you for calling in. Good, sir. Looking forward to talking to you again down the road. And, man.
Hey, Chris, I know you'll be in Monk's Corner next week.
Yes.
You know, in normal times, Shane, I would be in Monk's Corner next week without question. But my grandson is turning 1 year old, and I'm in St. Louis. So
hey, St. Louis, China, you're always going places.
A well-traveled man, Chris Deering.
I'm a well-traveled man, yes. That is a true statement.
Good stuff. Chris Deering, as always.
I'll be in St. Louis next weekend, but I will have an eye on Gerald Moody Field and seeing how White Knoll and Berkeley turn out for sure.
Good stuff. Chris, thanks for calling in, man. Looking forward to talking to you down the road.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
We'll go ahead and squeeze my man Nathan in here real quick. Nathan, always giving us really great reports from Camden. It looks like you had a thriller on your hands tonight, brother.
Yes, my heart has not slowed down yet.
It's been that way for a few weeks now. They have not done you well for the cardiac health.
No, for sure. And going into this game, we knew it was going to be a slobber knocker, and it lived up to the hype. I mean, heavyweight battle, blow for blow. 35-35. They go down and score. You're down 42-35 with about a minute and a half left. And you go, okay, well, we know it's possible. We just wasn't sure if we would be able to do it. And Kylan Drayford is just an absolute dog with the ball in his hand. He made a big play, got it down inside the 5, and we were able to stick it in. You think, okay, you can breathe a little bit, but then you look at the clock, and there's still 55 seconds left to go in the game. And Ren did a pass from about their 25 out to the 50. And this was a rule, but they threw a flag, and I was like, well, there's no targeting in high school football, but apparently you have to wrap the kid up. You can't just throw your shoulder into him. And so tack on 15 more. You go, okay, this is starting to get interesting now. To make a long story short, they get down with 5 seconds left, setting up for a game-winning field goal. JoJo Krim, our senior DB, does a little bit of everything, comes off the edge and blocks it. 42.
Such a great player.
He is such a great player, and whoever gets him is going to get an absolute steal, because not only is he a great player, but he's a great human being in the classroom, and just a great kid in general. 43-42 winners. Would not have guessed that. I think I even said on our pregame show that Camden needed to keep it in the low 30s at the highest point for us to have a shot. And they made a liar out of it, which I'm grateful for. But the task is a little more difficult next week, going to see Cutter Woods and Westside. But I just can't be more proud of this team. Being, you bump up a classification and the expectations haven't changed. And the coaches just went to work and the kids went to work and heading to the quarterfinals in 4A for the first time since 1983.
Coach Riff really does a good job.
He does. He really does. And, and give credit to not only the coaches but to the players for not, losing their composure when they went down to score with 11 minutes left. Everybody remained calm and just they knew the task at hand and executed. And his son, Grayson Rams, our sophomore quarterback, him and Wyatt Thompson swap in and out, but he has really grown into that quarterback role this year, and he made a big play where he stepped up in the pocket, kind of rolled out, and I'm wondering why he's not running the ball because there's 30 yards in front of him. He finds Fallon Drake for even bigger gains. So he's just making the right decisions, and Joey will win, but these nail biters need to subside. Or I'm going to see a cardiologist soon.
Might have to. Nathan, thanks again as always, brother. Appreciate you calling in. Looking forward to talking to you again here soon.
Sounds good. Go Cox.
Yeah, absolutely. A good way to end that call right there. We got about a minute left. We'll get Coach Crosby on from Bamberg right now. Coach, congrats on a big win tonight. What do you have to say about your team as you roll on to the next round of the playoffs?
Man, I'm proud of them, man. We had a fight. We was down 20-14 halftime. We kind of been playing Chancellor Crosby a little bit. We were limiting him because he hurt his non-thorn arm, so we've been kind of limiting him a little bit to get him back. And, we was going to use him when we had to. But we were down 20-14, put him in, man. The kid probably threw for 300 yards the second half and 2 touchdowns. And our O-line did a great job. Our defense kind of, it was a little bit shaky the first half, but kind of shut them out a little bit the second half. But my team they're young, but they play so hard. They're aggressive, and I'm just proud of them right now. Just they have another chance to have another week to get them better and get ready for a great team like Lakeview.
Hey, Coach Shane Fiddler here, man. Enjoy Thanksgiving week, getting ready for Lakeview. All right?
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, Lakeview beat down. Really beat a really good Johnsonville team tonight. So a fantastic win for Lakeview there. I'm really excited for Bamberg Lakeview next week. That's going to be a battle. Coach Crosby, thanks again for calling in and looking forward to seeing how that game goes next week.
Y'all got it.
All right, so we have about 1 minute here left. I will run through all the scores as we wrap up the fastest moving show in all of Sports Talk Radio. But I'll go ahead and catch you up right now. River Bluff beat Rock Hill yesterday 34-17. Cheraw shut out East Clarendon 35-0. I think I'm saying there. I've been botching that all season long. Abbeville beat Blackville Hilda 41-13. Lamar beat Lee Central 22-12. Hunter Kiner Tyler 46. Dixie 13. The Fighting Rogers moving on. Louisville shuts out Rich Spring Minetta 39-0. Cross beats Ridgeland 56-0. Hannah Pamplico all over Denmark Olar, ending their season 40-6. Bamberg Earhart, as we just heard from Coach Crosby, 36 over Baptist Hill, who had 20. Clinton as Justin likes to call them, takes down Chester tonight 48-20. Batesburg-Leesville, due to a video game type performance from Madre Wooden, beats Andrew Jackson 49-14. Fairfield Central ends Chesney's season 41-6. Pageland Central beats Saluda 26-15. Barnwell, the Warhorses shut out Timberland 21-0. Philip Simmons beats Kingstree 40-24. Mountain View Prep over Walhalla 42-13. Crescent over Christchurch Episcopal 45-6. Powdersville beats Woodruff 21-14. Belton Honeypath 42. Palmetto 14. Loris beats Hanahan 28-21. Dillon took down Newberry 33-28 in a classic. Oceanside Collegiate beat up Waccamaw tonight 36-6. West Side and Cutter Woods, the team that will be playing Camden and giving our poor guy more cardiac arrest here, 49-9. Camden beats Wren 43-42. South Point over Greer 56-17. Daniel over Richland Northeast 48-36. Hartsville over Darlington 49-16. South Florence over Hilton Head Island 56-28. Gilbert over Bishop England 36-30. That's all we have. I'm Elijah Campbell. He's Shane Fidler.
Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks for joining. We'll talk to you again here soon. This is Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show on the Game.